Good day, everyone from Team World Explorer. I want to say thank you all for being here. This is a recording, of course, just in case if this training can't go live. So today I am going to talk to you about Centrav. So what is Centrav? Okay. Centrav is an airline consolidator company. What does a consolidator company do? Consolidator basically is where this company goes to the airline and buys bulk tickets or airline tickets for wholesale prices. And then they resell them. They allow us to resell them to clients. The benefit of that is that it gives you the opportunity to get lower airfare than retail prices out there. And also, it gives you an opportunity to make some commission or add a markup as long as you're right about at the competition price, if not below the competition price. You can add as much or as little as you want. So Centrav does that. So what I'm going to do is have you go to centrav.com, okay? Centrav.com. Now, if you've never used Centrav before or you haven't signed up for them, it's easy. Go to the red sign up button, and then you'll put in all of your information, okay? Your name, your email address, your phone number, your address. Now, your agency name, okay? You can put your agency name here, but you put our IATA number here and your agency number, okay? If you have a website, you can put your website, but what you'll put is, although let me double check here. I think I put Archer Travel, but let me just double check because it's been a while since I've signed up. But I've been using Centrav very frequently recently. I've had quite a few bookings. Once you do sign up, they do have the option for two-step verification, which they do, and it just sends you a code onto your email address after you sign up. Let me double check to make sure which one I use as my business name. Oh, so I actually did put Archer Travel Service, but you can put your own logo. Okay, so when you sign up, you're going to put Archer Travel's information, but then the agency address goes to you. You're the agency address, so you still put your information under sign up. Okay, and then you just sign up everything, and then you send it in. Make sure everything is correct. Okay. And they will be able, then it'll take them about 2 to 3 business days or so for you to get registered, and they will send you an email confirmation confirming that you have been registered with them. Okay, so again, I'm going to log in since I've already used the since I've already done the one-time verification. It's already done. So this is your page. This has all your bookings that you've done recently. If you need to contact Centrav, you can do that. They have a pretty decent chat option. You have any resources? They do have a Centrav Academy that walks you through the gist of the flow. So today we're going to go through the flow, how to make a reservation, what to do, how to add a markup or add profit to your reservation as well. And everything is pretty much done online, but you can always contact support and they will be more than happy to help you. They have great staff. And there's also a knowledge base. Knowledge base also gives you some more points and tips. So let's say you've got clients that want to go, let's say Dallas to, I'm from Dallas, so let's say Dallas Fort Worth to, um, let's say South Korea, Seoul, South Korea, right? Say they want to go in, let's say October of this year, okay? October 3rd, and let's say they want to go for about 2 weeks or so. So, 1, 2, let's say have them come back on the 19th, right? Let's say there's 2 adults. Well, I want to try to avoid basic economy fares because they don't provide much flexibility for my clients. I usually stay away from it unless they want the absolute lowest fare possible and they don't mind getting their seat assignments. They know that they're going on the trip because they can't do any refunds or exchanges on basic economy fares. Okay. So that's all I do. There's no children involved. There's 2 adults. I always highlight consolidated fares and always published fares. Published fares is basically what you get retail. Like if you were to go to kayak.com or if you buy it directly from the airline itself, that is a published rate. So I call it retail. Consolidator, I consider it wholesale. Gives you an easier one. You can choose your class of service. So economy, there's economy plus, there's premium economy, business, and first class. Okay. Let's say my client wants to do premium economy seats to South Korea. Then you just hit search for fares. You can also do groups, and then we'll touch on Trip Builder briefly. It gets kind of confusing, but you have to get, I would rather you get the flow of it first, and then we'll get into Trip Builder on a different occasion. So, right here are your results. They have trimmed the results to the 500 cheapest fares. You can sort by best price if you would like. Okay. So right now, this one, the lowest price is a published fare through through China Airlines. So if you were to go to China Airlines' website and book this exact same fare, this exact same schedule, you will get this exact same fare. Okay, but that's a published fare, and plus Centrav charges a service fee. You could easily do that too, and charge your own fee. You know, so you might as well, if it's a published fare, you might as well just book it directly with the airline. Gives you flexibility with the airline, things like that. Okay. So now, how do I know whether or not my client is actually getting the best deal possible? There's United Airlines that can be commissionable. So let's say they just only want one stop, right? So you can filter your results. If they want a one connection flight or even non-stop flights, okay? So now, this one right here is a United Airlines flight that connects through San Francisco to and gets to Seoul Incheon at 2:55 in the afternoon, which is not bad, which is perfect for somebody to arrive because usually check-in comes in at about 2 or 3 o'clock. Yeah, if they're checking into hotels or Airbnbs or anything like that. So it's perfect timing. Once they clear customs, once they get their bags, once they clear immigration, they can go straight to the hotel. Not a bad schedule, right? So let's compare this to, let's see if this commissionable fare is available on United site and see how much we would actually pay retail price of United, right? So we're going from, I don't know why. It is very good for you to know as a travel agent your airport codes if you can. Saves you lots of time. It saves you a lot of it just saves you a lot of time. Okay. So we looked at October 3rd and then returning on the 19th. 3rd to the 19th. We are looking for premium economy seating and fine flights. And let's just say because United is a preferred airline with with your client, so they're willing to pay a little bit more. Yeah. We need it for 2 people. Sorry, I did not select that. It's almost the same price actually, but we can get commission off of it. So, and it's what they call a mixed cabin. So one of the flights will be most likely in economy, and then the rest of it will be in premium economy. So this is the flight that we saw, the 2739. This per person, not 2 people. And the returning is 11:35 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and select my flights that way. Then I am going to take a look here. So most likely the first flight is going to be the flight that is going to give you the economy cabin. Yep, you can see right here. It gives you the flight number, airline and flight number, economy. Do not worry about class. Class is their booking code, like the booking letter. They have fare codes. Each airline has their own fare codes. So that gives you that opportunity and that option. That is an economy seat. Now, because it is an international flight, okay, baggage is usually included. Asia, it's usually 2 bags plus a carry-on plus a personal item. Okay. But you want to just double check, but usually that's the case, that's the best case scenario. Okay. So 5476.30, it's the same fare. It is a commissionable fare here versus non-commissionable here, retail. So it gives you an opportunity to get commission paid on it, and gives you, or if it's a non-commissionable fare, but let's say it's a consolidator fare, right? You can always add a markup to the reservation. And if it's a commissionable fare, I believe you can also still add another markup if you want. But let's just double check. So it's a commissionable published fare. Let's say, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. So, and you just have to really let them know that, okay, the flight from Dallas Fort Worth to San Francisco and the flight from San Francisco to DFW is Premium economy is unfortunately not available in that cabin on these flights, but you will be seated in economy for the first flight, and the second flight, in your longer flights, you will be in premium economy. Premium economy just basically gets a more legroom, more recline, and maybe an amenity, a small version of an amenity bag, like toothpaste, toothbrush, socks, maybe some lotion, things like that. Now, if you want to upgrade to business class, that gives you opportunity to upgrade. It is $8,576 more than the current price. So if they want two business class tickets, it's $14,052.30 to Seoul, South Korea. And right here, so let's say they don't want that option. They want here. So you're going to want to have their passports in front of them for your information, for your passenger information, because you want to grab the correct information on their passport the first time and not deal with any name change fees or anything like that. You want everything to be in front of you. Worst comes to worst, if they don't want to provide that information, or they don't have their passport on hand or anything like that, you could always say, okay, well, I can't book this reservation until I have your correct information that's on your passport, because I need that information in order for us to avoid any penalties or fees in the future. And the best thing is for you to have for them to give you a copy of their passport. Like, they take a legible copy of their passport and put it inside and put the information. So I'm just gonna put PBA for now. Do not ever put PBA ever on an airline ticket, because you can get charged by the airline because you're technically holding space. Okay. I'm just gonna put a random number and right down here, there's a plus sign that says frequent traveler numbers. Known traveler numbers, if anyone has global entry or TSA pre-check, okay, they have a pass ID number that they got from TSA. You can put that. That is to help expedite them. If they have a redress number, so let's say let's say their name is very similar to somebody who was on the no-fly list after 9/11. Okay, they have to prove their identity correctly and go through a process and things like that. But they were provided a redress number, so they will not be flagged on the do not fly list. That is a redress number. Okay. Then, of course, your passport information. If they need a wheelchair, you can make that request here. If they have a special meal request, if they're like gluten-free, halal for the Arabics who have to eat their meat, have their meat cut a certain way and meals prepared a certain way, vegetarians, things like that, right? You got all that option here: vegan meal, vegetarian meal, gluten-free meal, halal meal, Hindu meal, kosher meal, diabetic meal, low sodium meal, low calorie meal, a child's meal, things like that. You can request that, and Centrav usually sends that to the airline, but I would recommend you to call the airline directly just in case that request does not get attached to it and your clients don't have an issue with a special meal request when they get on the plane. So you want to make sure that the information that you get from their passport for international flights or for domestic flights, make sure they have their driver's license or state ID in order for them to fly. Okay, and you want to make sure that you get that correct information from the get-go. So again, you don't have to worry about a name change fee, which is anywhere from $200 to $400. And it's possible that they might lose their fare because of that name change as well, because they have to cancel the original ticket, then they have to reissue the new ticket at the new fare. A lot of times it's not necessary. Sometimes it is, depending on the type of fare that was used to book the reservation and how I would say how dramatic the name changes to a point. You know what I mean? So make sure you enter all the information correctly. It'll tell you the name, date of birth, male or female. They give you some rules again right here. Passport name must match passport exactly or risk denied boarding. There are no changes allowed, is what they state, but you can change it through Centrav. It is not a big deal. All exchanges and cancellations must be completed prior to the original scheduled flight date. For rules and penalties, contact your travel advisor. Tickets may be non-refundable or non-changeable. See the airline website to verify mileage and baggage allowance. Most tickets may not be upgraded using miles. Purchase today or fare may expire. For full fare rules, contact your travel advisor. That's an automatic get-go that they put on every ticket, on every opportunity, on every itinerary that you send to your client. That is already automatic. Okay, that's like their disclaimer. Okay, so let's say I'm not going to enter all this for right now for Pete's sake. I'm going to go ahead and put so there is the opportunity here. Then you have to make, after you put in all the information you need, name, date of birth, and gender are what's mainly needed because that's what they need from the airline for their what's called the secure flight passenger data. That is what's necessary for you to book the reservation and hold the ticket, etc. Okay. Now, let's say you're ready to book, but you want to apply payment. You can apply payment later, but you want to have this booking held. This booking is held until 11:55 p.m. this evening Central Time. Okay, so you want to make sure if you're going to hold a ticket and the client is not ready to pay yet, you have to let them know that the payment is due by, I'd say give them, you don't want to work that late. You don't want to work until midnight if you don't have to, Central Time. So tell them 10 p.m. Central is like your cutoff. So give that to them in your local time. 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Now you're ready to make, let's say you're ready to hold this. You're going to hit I confirm that the names and details displayed above are complete and correct to the best of my knowledge. By booking the trip through this software, I confirm that I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions outlined therein. I understand the Centrav baggage allowance policy. Centrav baggage allowance policy basically means the airline's baggage policy. And you can see whether or not what bags are included and how many right here, right next to class of service, their fare basis code, and then it'll tell you whether or not baggage is included or not and how many bags are included. They'll tell you check bags. You're allowed, for Asia, you're allowed 2 check bags for free. You're allowed 1 carry-on on the plane that goes in the overhead bin, and also a personal item like a laptop bag, backpack, etc., that goes under the seat in front of you. Okay? So let's say you're ready to book, right? So apply payment later. Book. We cannot have duplicate names. Oh, got it. Hold on. I'm going to change something. John Doe TBA. All right. So, how you know it's ready? First of all, it says you got a green check mark. It says your booking has been reserved. Now, it's a commissionable published fare, right? So it says it gives you an orange status, which means this reservation needs payment. It does give you the Centrav reference number. It gives you the date that you reserved it, the date of travel from the October 3rd through the 19th. Your status, again, is a needs payment. Validating airline is the United Airlines, and the city pairs are Dallas Fort Worth, connecting through San Francisco to Seoul, South Korea, and Incheon. Okay. So when it's ready, if you're ready to book, review everything with your client, of course, and make sure that it is correct before you apply actual payment. Because at this time, you can still cancel this reservation since payment hasn't been made. Now, I'm going to tell you, if payment has been made, and then they say they changed their mind, within 24 hours, you can still what we call void the ticket. Okay. You can do that through Centrav here in a bit, but since I don't have an actual confirmed itinerary, I might not be able to actually void it, but there is a way for you to know how to void it through resources under refunds and exchanges. They'll give you some more information on how to do that. So let's say you're ready to apply payment, right? So this right here tells you your profit. So current commission on each ticket is $42.44 from the airline. If you want to add an additional fee, this is per person. So let's say you want to charge an extra $25 fee. You're charging $50 to your client. Your total profit per adult is $667.44. Total profit you're gaining is $134.88. That is your profit that you will report to Archer Travel, since Centrav will pay Archer Travel. Archer Travel then will pay you. You get 80% of your $134.88, which means that you will get $107.90 off of a ticket, off of this reservation right here. Okay. So let's say you're okay with the 42.44 per thing. So you just hit cancel. And then if you're ready to make payment, you just hit choose this option and then you'll make payment. Simple as that. Now, I don't want to go into, I can go into this briefly. They use an application called Pay for My Trip. So you can do one of two things. You can take the payment from your client directly, and if they're ready, by entering the credit card information myself. I prefer this option because that way then I know that it's booked and confirmed and it's taken care of. Now, if you're someone if the client says, oh, I want to make payment, but I don't want to give away my credit card information. I want to make sure that it's secure, things like that. No big deal. You can send them a secure payment link to the cardholder through this option. You can send it by email or via text, whichever they prefer. You just put their email address in there. You can choose to send them, you can choose to have them send you a copy of it as well. That way then you can follow, that way you can make sure that it's being sent, you know. Then there's three checkboxes we have to agree to. That it'll be the full amount that's being charged today, pending approval of payment, and then penalties and rules of the reservation. In the event of a chargeback, you'll be notified of the payment required and have 10 days from notice to pay the full amount. Okay, then you have agreed that the spelling of the names are in the following order: first name, middle name, last name, itineraries, the dates, cities, and the airline and the cabin class, and the final pricing is detailed on the page. Then you have read and explained the terms and conditions to your client on any applicable restrictions of hazardous materials specified in the TSA list of prohibited items. If you are agreed to do that, you do that, and then you send the payment link email. If you don't, and you want to take payment yourself, and they're okay to do that. Most of my clients are pretty flexible, and they allow me to take payment over the credit card. They have payment over the phone, and I just really prefer that. This is my go-to, honestly. Then you just hit apply payment on Pay for My Trip, which is the application they use for their payment processing. So then you're going to go there. Then they're going to find the chip. You're going to make sure the names, dates, correct, itinerary correct, and travel is correct. See, even have if you can put your logo on it, puts Archer Travel Service on it. I know it gets kind of confusing, but you do that. You can then do. You can split the charge up to however many passengers are traveling. So if you have two travelers and they want each pay for their own and split it, you can split the charge by traveler across multiple credit cards. They only allow two credit cards, credit card number 1 and credit card number 2. Okay, you cannot do more than one credit card per traveler. Okay, then you put a credit card number, the name on the card. Let's say they wanted to charge the full amount for a single credit card. Again, credit card number, name on the card, expiration date, the CVV code on the back of the card, the billing address, billing city, billing state, billing zip code, card information, the card contact information, email address, and phone number. And then you just check the little box on the bottom and then hit complete payment and you are set. Okay. Then it'll go through. Then when you return here, this will then turn blue. Payment received. Okay. Once payment received is hit, you want to give or take at least a minute or so for it to process. It is still now. What that is basically Centrav has now received the information to charge the credit card. They are then processing that card. Now, in order to know whether or not that it is booked or not, I'm going to go to my bookings. This will then turn to ticketed, green. That means payment's been accepted, card's been charged, and the client has a ticket. And they're ready to go. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this booking because I no longer need this ticket because it was a demo. You can also make another booking like this. And if you want to send this as a quote to the client, you can send this as a quote to the client, a traveler quote, and send it and email it to the client. That way they can look over it, make sure that they have it correctly, things like that. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it, cancel booking. That way I don't take up space and I don't change anybody else's information or hold space on the airline that I really don't need. Okay. So it has been canceled. You're going to confirm that it's been canceled or voided or whatever, and then go from there. Like, The only reason why, let's say you made payment and then you need to cancel the reservation, right? But you notice a mistake on it. Void the ticket, start all over. As long as you catch it within the first 24 hours. Okay. And you can sort your bookings by departure date or the date that you booked the reservation. Okay. So the reason why I have many is because I had a huge group of people and a life insurance company of people who did an incentive trip. I chose because a lot of people had very specific needs and wants for their trip. So went ahead. I didn't do it as a group. I went ahead and did it separately. Now, the most that you can do before a group is 9 or less. Anything 10 or more, then you get into group air. That then takes a little bit of time for you to do, but you can do group air via Centrav if you would like. But what we do have though, is we do have specific things at Archer does for groups. So we have to follow abide by those instructions first and give us direction, then we can go from there. Okay. So now there is another option which is called Trip Builder. So Trip Builder, what this does is that it gives you other options, but you want to it'll separate each leg and give you, let's say what's displayed on the beginning doesn't give you the option. Let's say they have like a specific airline or a specific airline or a specific airline group alliance that they want to. So like anyone who flies Delta and their partner airlines through Delta is with SkyTeam. Anyone who flies with United and their network of airlines is with Star Alliance. Anyone who flies with American Airlines and their partner airlines is with One World. Okay. So let's say here again, let's say DFW going to Seoul, South Korea. Again, it's been the same dates 10, 10, 3, 2023, 10, 19, 2023. And let's say they want a Star Alliance. Because let's say they have the most mileage on Star Alliance, right? So that's like a United family. But let's say they don't want United, but they want other airlines within their network, right? So you can go in here and look at what airlines fly to Seoul, South Korea that are in the Star Alliance family. So, okay, so there's Turkish Airlines and Asiana Airlines. I'll be flying Asiana very soon, like right after convention, because I have to go to Taiwan to take care of some family issues. But there is a lot of information, but there is a lot that make more than one connection, even two connections, So maybe the best one to do as a non-United flight, maybe this one that's a Turkish Airlines flight. Dallas to Turkey, Dallas to Istanbul, Istanbul to Seoul, South Korea. They'll get there at 9:30 in the morning. It's a longer flight, but it gives them. But on the way back, let's see. Well, on the way back, they'll have this. They kind of have to suck it up for a little bit, don't they? I mean, they could do this one. At least the long one is a non-United flight. And then what you'll go down here to do is, now here you won't be able to do premium economy because it may not be available. So you just have to hit economy, 2 adults, exclude basic economy, and hit price. I always hit, so they're not able to mix it. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. That's why I don't like you to use it unless you seriously need it. There's a training on it under Knowledge Base and Trip Builder, or even in Centrav Academy as well, when you do their certification and things like that. It's a good training that get and have. So it just tells you and it tells you some things about group airfare, airlines that they work with, policies and procedures, things like that. So that is really Centrav in a nutshell. It really gives you an opportunity to kind of make some money on airline tickets that we normally don't get commission on airline tickets, right? So this is a good option for us as travel agents to get some commission for the work we put into airfare, because airfare gets finicky sometimes and we have to be careful with it, you know. So we work hard for it, and because of that, we should get paid a little bit at least, right? Don't let all the big airlines get money for it. They're already making money. It's time for us to make money for it, right? So I hope that this video has been very informative to you on how to use Centrav and the things that you will need to use and the things that you will need to have. Again, make sure you have the itinerary correctly. Make sure you have their dates correct, the class of service correct, the number of people traveling correctly. Then when you make the reservation, you want to make sure that they have everyone's passport information in front of them. The best case scenario is have them take photos of everyone's passports and send them to you. That way then you can do it at your own pace, as long as you do it before the ticketing deadline, because prices can change after that deadline. So usually you can put a reservation on hold for at least 24 to 48 hours and the price not change. But nowadays the airlines are smart because we can void tickets or we can cancel reservations without penalty within the first 24 hours. So just be on the side, be on the cautious side when you're booking reservations. Another tip is make sure all the names are spelled correctly, date of birth, gender. If they give you the passport information, go right ahead and put that into there, because then they'll report that to the airline. That way, then it lessens their time at the check-in counter when they arrive at the airport to check in. Okay, especially if they're traveling with bags, because they will have to check in. As for international flights, you do have to check in with the ticket counter. And those check-in lines can get long depending on what class of service that they are flying. Okay, especially economy being the longest. First class or business class may be the shortest. Then premium economy may be the second longest line after economy. So, and just letting you know, just make sure that you have the information correctly. Then, if you are taking payment with the client over the phone, double, triple check the credit card information. Make sure the name is exactly on name on the credit card, address, phone number, email address. Just double, triple check all information that you get. Because the reason being, it gets reported to the airline, and if there's any issues that is incorrect on the ticket itself, and your client doesn't find out, and you don't know either, that can be a costly mistake for us as agents, because then the client could be denied boarding because of it. And we do not want that to happen. Okay. Same with anything you book, really. Make sure you get their personal information correctly the first time. Double, triple check. If you have to ask 20 to 40 questions and ask the name like 3 times to confirm, do it. Double, triple check and make sure your information is correct. I can't stress that enough. You do not want to make costly mistakes. And you want to make sure if it's an international flight, you want to make sure whether or not they need visas or not to enter that country, right? I recommend you to let them process their visas themselves. If you're going to do it, charge a fee, please, because the reason being, I made a mistake. And that was a costly one, to the point where I had to buy the client a brand new ticket. And that was last minute. And I had to redo the visa process all over again, things like that. And it was a nightmare. Luckily, they were able to rush the visa last minute. The client also had to fly to Washington, D.C. to help rush his passport, rush his visa. He wasn't able to get it that day, but he was able to get it that evening after he left. Then he left the next day to Thailand with the life insurance. All because the passport expiration date of his resident passport, because it was a Colombian passport, all because his passport was expiration date was off by 1 digit. And no, you cannot have them correct the information. You have to reapply. So, ladies and gentlemen, tip reminder, let your clients do their own visa. You can guide them and do the research for them. Like, oh, you need a visa. This is where you need to go, and make sure you have this, and this, and pay the visa fee, and you'll get it, and you're done. That is your responsibility. If you're going to do it for them, charge them a substantial fee just in case to protect you. So I want to say thank you all for your time. Thank you all for being evolution agents. Thank you for being part of Team World Explorers. It has been a pleasure training you guys. I want to say again, thank you all. For those of you who are going to convention, you guys know who you are. You're part of the group chat and things like that. Congratulations. I will see you guys next week. If you aren't going to convention because you missed the deadline, a brand new agent coming on, welcome still welcome aboard. Stay tuned. We may provide you some updates and things like that for you guys throughout the week. But there will also be trainings may be lessened during next week, but there are still there will be some trainings or things like that that we can probably post on, and or maybe repost some existing trainings or refer you to our team website for recorded trainings that have been done already, so that you can still be occupied and still work your business while majority of us will be in convention. But at least you will have the opportunity to still work your business, be trained on it. So thank you again so much. My name is John Jang. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I did not mention, but I have been with this company for 3 years now. Um, but I love every minute of it. I've been able to travel more because of it. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to your mentors. Myself, or even Courtney Palladino as well, our amazing 2-star platinum Wonder Woman. So thank you again so much. Y'all have a wonderful week ahead. And stay tuned for the team chats and things like that. If you have any questions or concerns, out to your mentor, reach out to the team chat, and at least some of us, one of us, will be able to respond to help you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.